Welcome to the Crazy Troll Nation. I'm here in all of my glorious trollness. All I have on is just skincare. Yeah. We are going to talk today. Well, let me do the intro while YouTube is notifying people. I think this looks better over here. This is that larger ring light from at my station. So I'm going to do the intro real quick for the replay crew, which absolutely rocks. Again, my name is Dion. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. The troll part, no, the crazy part is not knowing my intro. I just woke up, y'all, like 30 minutes ago. The crazy part is knowing it's okay to be your authentic self, because some people will say, why don't you be like this? Why don't you say things like that? Why don't you do this? Just be who you are and just love yourself for it. And the troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. You'll hear you must use this brand, you must use this tool, you must use this technique. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. Use whatever you want to, however you want to, with whatever tools you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Here, the bottom line is, hey, Lock, here, the bottom line is self acceptance and self love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. Two things if you're new here. I do curse in videos and live streams because I curse. And there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. And so I do try to say, excuse me, whether I think you heard it or not. So that is the intro. I'm glad you're here, Locke, because I was wondering if I didn't have it set on public like I did that one time before, which was like super weird. But today we are going to, I kind of want to just kind of stall and see who else is going to come, because this will be rudimentary for you, Locke. We're going to talk about, do you see what I see? A lot of times I get comments about how do I put colors together? How do I see looks and palettes? Where they'll say, oh, I like how you did that. I wouldn't have thought to do that. And so I thought it would be fun today to do a live stream on how to see looks and palettes. And so I have about 4 palettes here, 5. I have 5 palettes here. This one light is hella bright. I have about 5 palettes here that I was just going to go through and just show you what I see or what I think may work. I say often that my eye perceives color different than other people. An example I use is I was chatting with a dude. This was way back. And he said his favorite color was red. And so we finally agreed to meet in person. Hey, Sarah. And so I went out and bought a red dress. And I was so excited about this red dress, right? And a friend of mine says, I showed her a picture of it because I took pictures in the dressing room. And when I visited my neighbor, this was way, way back. I said, oh, look at this dress I just bought. She said, that's a pretty coral color. I said, what? I was like, what'd you say? And she said, that's a pretty coral color. I said, that's not red. She was like, no. Hey, Tanya. And I was like, and I was in denial because I'm like, to me, it looked like it was red. And so I showed one of my friends the picture. I said, what color is this dress? And she said, that's coral. And I'm like, damn it. And so I did still wear it when we met, and I told him the story, and he said he appreciated me trying, and he did like the color anyway. But so that's how I know for sure my color perception is a little different than other people's. I'm not good at describing colors. I will seldom describe colors, or I'll be like, this might be green or it might be purple. I don't know, whatever color it is to you, that's what it is, kind of thing. But even with that, though, people say, that I do nice color combinations. Every time I go somewhere with an eye look on, people compliment me on my eyeshadow look. And so I guess because I perceive color different across the board, that it goes together in my mind, even if it's not the color that I think it is. And so, I have good news, y'all. If I'm a little more delayed or off than usual, I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, and I'm drinking my little Boathouse Farms amazing mango, and I do have water over here. I didn't put on chapstick yet since I'm drinking, and I don't like when on the mugs or cups it's like lip stuff, even though it's only just me drinking out of it. But I don't know if do y'all remember like a little while. I think it was. It might have been around the time, which seems like forever ago, and it wasn't, when I was finishing Online Makeup Academy, and I said I was at the VA hospital, and there was a different PAC team nurse that took care of me because her doctor the doctor for that pet team had called out. And so they rerouted, the nurses. And she was telling me, your makeup looks really nice. Do you do lessons? And I was like, not yet, but I will in like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Do y'all remember that? I had an appointment at the VA yesterday. Yesterday was a rough day. I have never in my life rescheduled a lot, like never. And I'm like, this must be serious, because I'm like, whew. So when I was at my appointment yesterday at the VA hospital, I didn't even have the energy to put on makeup. Anytime I need to set my alarm to get up, it's going to be a long day. And so I'm glad y'all remember this. And so I was standing there, just looking all bummy. I didn't have no makeup on, had my glasses on. And she walked by and she said, I remember you. She's like, girl, I ain't forget about you. I have your number in my wallet. I'm ready. I'm like, I'm ready too. I said, I got all this stuff. Just call me, let me know. And I said, I have something for you. So I gave her my newer business cards, because I don't think the other one had my number on it. So I gave her that. She was like, yeah. She said, I got your number and I got my wallet. I'm ready. And so I'm like, I'm ready to paint your face. And she's a little bit more tan than me, but I wouldn't say she's brown skin. My ex called me caramel. And friggin' dude who thankfully like burnt the bridge down, he called me beige, but he's a little bit lighter than I am. I'm like, I'm caramel. I like that. That sounds better than beige. But anyway, yeah, she was really excited, and I asked her name again, and I forgot it as soon as she said it. It's an unusual name, and so I was just like, and I didn't want to keep having her repeating it until I understood what she said. But I was just, and I should have asked her for her number to put in my phone, because then I would see her name and see how it's spelled or whatever. But so I'm excited for that. And she will be a paying client. She said so. She's like, I got your number in my wallet. I was like, oh, okay. I said, I'm gonna play in your face. I said, I got everything ready. And so that is exciting. So that's a tidbit from yesterday. Yesterday was horrible. It was a long day. The video I did, and I still did a video yesterday, y'all. I came home, I took a migraine med and got back in the bed, and I woke up around like almost midnight. And do you have a rate card? I don't have a rate card because it depends on what they want. Some looks are more intensive than others. Some are more basic than others. So no, but my base, my starting fee is $85. And so depending on what else they want, it'll just be added to that. And if they want like a little kit to go with them, like if they like the lippy and they're like, oh, well, can I have that? I'll add that price in. And sometimes I do give, because I have quite a few travel size mascaras. And so sometimes I'll just use a mascara and just give it to them. So I do still give stuff away. Or if it's like a lipstick sampler that I'll open to use for them, I'll let them keep that. If it's also like NYX lip liners, because they're so inexpensive and Ulta always has sales. Like I did for my neighbor. She kept saying, this lip liner's nice. I keep it. And I gave her the lip liner and the mascara. And so I will give little stuff anyway that doesn't cost a lot. Because if I get travel size stuff, either free or it's on discount, I usually end up giving that away. And the NYX stuff is hella cheap. It's a Ulta. I said Sephora earlier, didn't I? Ulta always has sales on that side of the store. So for bridal makeup, which I don't want to do because I think it's boring because it all looks the same. Yeah, I said it. Because y'all that are here know what I like. What was I going to say? Oh, for bridal makeup, sometimes they do include like a touch-up kit, but they add that on top of their service. Bridal makeup, they can make a lot of money because you get paid to do their makeup. Whoever the bridesmaids, whoever will make up. Hey, Dawn of the Dead, Dawn, you ain't come alive yet, girl. Come on now, you can't be a zombie forever. And so, and they also charge per distance. Like within a certain amount of miles, it might be free, or a certain time frame might be free. But over that, they charge. Hey, Alicia, if the bride wants them to stay until the reception, they charge for that because you're just sitting around waiting because they may want you to touch up their makeup before the reception. Will you be at the wedding? I'm not doing bridal makeup, Lock, unless somebody specifically asks me. Like I'm not advertising to do bridal makeup. But but they do make good money. And they inflate the charge anyway, because some people go all out for their wedding. So if you tell them, $350, and I've seen some people say they charge like $550 for bridal makeup. But those are people who have been doing it for a while. But they said they started out at like $300, $350, and then you add on your travel. Some bridal artists, all they do is travel bridal makeup, and some do destination weddings. And so they're getting their fee to do your makeup, the bridesmaid makeup, the mom's makeup, the little kids makeup, and plus the bride and groom will pay for your flight and for your hotel for destination weddings. And so you're there the entire time. And so it's a lot of money in it. And I think that's why a lot more people do it, because people don't automatically or want the stuff that I want to do. But even when I did cross-dressing makeup, that was exciting too. Like just seeing the transformation, that was exciting for me. But bridal makeup to me is kind of boring because it all looks the same. It all looks the same. So for those who just got here, you might not have heard when I had said, and brides have very high expectations. As someone who did floor arrangements, not me, someone else. And also for bridal makeup, they do a trial. And they charge you for the trial. So like if the bridal makeup is like $550 for the wedding day, the trial might be like $325. So that's like a week or so before the wedding. Sometimes they say even 3 months before the wedding, you go and you do their makeup and you say what you like, what you don't like. And then you fix it and tweak it until you get a look that they like, and exactly don't a lot of stress. And that's the look you do for their makeup for the bridal day. But they charge like $350, $375 for the trial. And then another $5 something on the wedding day. And for all the bridesmaids, whoever, if the bride's mom decides she wants her face done. So they can get over $1,000 just to do bridal makeup for that one day. But then some brides, if they're paying $10,000 for the wedding venue, they're not going to call for sneeze if you say $850 for the trial, the makeup on the wedding day, for me to stay until the reception, to touch up your face, and then the touch-up kit. They're going to be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But where I come from, they be going to the justice of the peace. you tell them 500 something times, they're going to be like, we're going to the justice of the peace. One of my cousins, oh my gosh, Connie said that's why she does her own makeup. It is a lot of stress on. My cousin that passed away years ago, this was way, way back. He sent out like a group text to the family. He said, on such and such day at such and such time, we'll be at the justice of the peace to get married. If you want to come, show up. And like 20 of us showed up. But I was just like, and then afterward, we went to his mom's house. They had food ordered or whatever. But it was just, yeah. And it was nice, though. It was really nice. Yeah, that's true. The more they spend, the more insignificant. Yeah. But where I come from, they ain't spending that. My second wedding, we received more money in gift cards and cash than we paid for the wedding. Yeah, we were low, but it was nice. And that's because one of my aunts, her husband, he's a chef. He catered the wedding for us. And so he really hooked us up. So that helped a lot. So for those that missed it, did I just say I just woke up like 30 minutes before the live started? So if I'm a little scattered, y'all, that's the excuse I'm using today, because I'm always a little scattered. What we're going to do today, because I do get compliments on my eyeshadow looks, and some people say, oh, that's a color combination I wouldn't have tried to use. Have a low-key wedding and very nice stuff. Yeah, because we wanted to have a nice reception. So we were like, well, really, it was me. I'm like, I don't want to spend a lot for the wedding. We spend the money for the honeymoon. I'm saying, y'all, let me just get to what I'm doing, because I'm reminiscing. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. We're going to look. I have our 5 different palettes, and we're going to look at looks. So it's like, do you see what I see? Because I'll do a look and somebody say, oh, I wouldn't have thought to put those colors together, blah, 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 blah. And so I thought that would be fun to do. And I was going to do a video, and I said, you know what? Let's do it as a live stream. So I was excited about it, but yesterday was such a long friggin' day. And when I got up close to midnight, I ate, and then I did 2 videos and 2 shorts. I edited the videos. That was probably like 4 this morning. So I got everything scheduled. Thursday, I leave for Academy again. And Academy is from Thursday to Sunday. And as y'all know, that always wears me out, because the day starts at like 7 a.m. and it ends at like 10 at night. And my roommate is a stranger. So I'm like, so I don't think I don't think I'm going to do looks while I'm there as far as video, but I might do I might take some stuff to do a review or a ranking because I don't know who this person is, and I don't know how they'll feel about if I'm like, oh well, if you're in the shower in the morning, I'm gonna do a video. You know what I'm saying? So the person that usually run me with, she's really cool. But so I pulled out Makeup by Mario palette, which is the easiest one. So we're going to do that one first. And the looks that I'm going to show you in this palette are looks that I've actually done. And that'll just get us started. Hey, I got a notification that I'm on live right now. And we also, and I tried to pull out palettes that are available. So in case you want them, I say as I hold up Paradise Islands because this is not available anymore. But that's what this looks like. So we're going to look at this and we're going to find looks in it. And I don't even remember what looks I did with it. I do have a playlist for every palette I'm showing you. And I actually have a code for Natasha Denona and a link that's down below. It's a lot of information always down below. This is Circle Local. Y'all freaking love this palette. Some people hated it. They were like, oh, it's too busy. It's too many colors. I'm like, crazy local means crazy circus. I have to know who I'm sleeping with. I do have her application to read about her, but I'm like, and so this is Circle Loco. I freaking love this palette. This palette to me is so much fun. And so some people look at this, but we'll get to it because some of the looks are really easy to see. And y'all know I don't really like to do or want to do the typical stuff. We're also going to look at I Need a Warm from Natasha Denona. And this is what this looks like. I have in my calendar to pair this with Circle Loco, and I'm gonna. I kept looking at it, and the only thing I could see to use from here is the browns. But because Circle Loco is so bright, I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna figure that out. We have Lethal's Midnight Serenade. Teresa is Dead has a code. Her code is garbage. I did hear her say in one of her videos, her code for Lethal is not affiliated, and so if you do purchase from Lethal, use her code. It saves 10%, which knocks off some of the shipping for me. And in Delaware, we don't pay sales tax, but their shipping is a lot. But so this is Midnight Serenade that I almost didn't get, but I'm glad that I got. And so I need to use that some more. Sorry, my phone lit up. And did I show y'all Makeup by Mario already? We're going to start with this one. But so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at palettes and we're going to look at looks. And I do hope that this is helpful for those of you that have a good eye for color and a good eye for combinations. I hope that this isn't boring for you. And do feel free, all of you, to chime in and say, I don't know, whatever you want to say. As far as looks. And that might be difficult because you'll be like, oh, that shade. I'm like, which one? Like I do sometimes. So in the Makeup by Mario, we're starting with this one because this one is simple. And what I like is when it's a Sephora website, they break it down for you. And that's how I did my looks. I did a look. They had, these two columns for looks, for one look, these two columns for a look. They had this column for a look, and they did name them. Like this was smoky something, whatever. They had this column as a look. They had these three as a look. I think they had this quad for a look and this quad. A quad is 4. And so I like how they did that. And that's how I did the looks. And so I haven't branched out to do other things with it yet because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was like 6 looks, at least 5 looks we did in that video. And so when you're looking at something like this, I don't want to blind you with the mirror. For this look, this is all matte, and some people have to have a shimmer. If a row is all shimmer, some people have to have matte. If you're one of those people, I do encourage you to do an all matte look if you never do, or do an all shimmer look if you never do. You might not like it, or you might like it, but either way, you'll learn something, and you'll be like, okay, I am trying something new. So just come out of your comfort zone a little bit. And that's something I do quite often. That's why I'm like, I don't know how this is going to look, but this is what we're going to do. So this column is easy. Most people, they do transition shade, outer corner shade, and then lid shade. And y'all know I don't do my makeup that way because of the puff zone up here. So I usually don't do crease, because if I just doing a crease, when I look straight, you're not going to see it. And that's why I take my lid shades up to here. But I think most of you in here know that. So for this look, you know, I think I did outer corner. I think I did second half of the lid and then first half of the lid. And I think I might have used this for this area up here. I don't quite remember, but that's something you can do. And honestly, I forget what I did for this trio, these three colors, but you have to not mind color. Some people said they were not getting this palette because they never use a dark blue and a dark black. And I'm like, just use it as an eyeliner. But as I was saying, some people just do the same thing all the time, and it is good to know what you like, but I find it exciting to experiment, and some people don't. And then also, I'm not putting on makeup and going to work either. So if you're going to work after you do your makeup, you do want something that you know is tried and true and that's going to look right versus trying to experiment. Then it's, jacked up and you're like, damn, I'm going to be looking crazy all day. And so that plays a factor too. And so for that, I suggest when you come home from work or wherever you are, then plan your makeup. Jasmine's good for that. The Buffet Witch here on YouTube, she'll just be like, we're just playing the makeup. And I don't even think she wears makeup to work. She'll be like, this is just a play sesh. We're going to put these colors on. And so I do encourage you to do that. But if you want it to be out the box, I'm looking at a really simple look, a really simple 2 shadow look. Put this all over the lid if you want it to be smoky. Put the blue all over the lid and put this shade on top of it. If you want it to be shiny, this is a shifter shade. This is the one that turned this, the gray, and this brown, different shades of blue, turquoise. So you can lay this down on the lid, and if you want it to be brighter, put this on top of it. So easy 2 shadow look. And if you want to do 1 shadow looks, thank you, Locke. You like the smoky look I created with this palette. And right now, I don't remember what it looked like. Like I seriously don't. And these shades here, these are good for one and dones. And it says on the website, one and done, or it says standalone or layer. So these are for layering or just a one and done. I don't use my fingers for makeup, but if you are, rub your little finger in here and just put it on your lid and you can be out the door. But this is fairly simple. And even doing these 2 columns, I think I did outer corner. I think I might have did second half of the lid, outer corner, this part of my lid. What am I saying? The 3rd quarter of the lid. Then I put this on the center, and then I put this on the inner lid because I wanted to see what they were going to look like on their own. And then I think I may have put this I used this for my brow arch, and I used this for the transition area. And that's how we did that. And so even though they had, these 2 columns as a look, you still need to figure out where you're going to put each shade and what you think is going to look right. Tanya says it somehow takes me back to Lorac 2 Pro or even the new Huda Icy. Maybe just this shade and maybe this one. And this one on me, this and this one kind of look the same, which I'm like, why are you both here? But this one definitely, except I don't know if the Icy shades and the Huda Beauty palette are shifter shades or not. And so, but I know she don't have these in her palette without the black, blue, or black, Tanya says. Yeah. And so it would be up to you to what do you think will look right on you? And you can do, if you don't want to put this on the lid, you can use this for eyeliner. Put the blue on the outer corner. Put this on second half of the lid. Put this on first half of the lid. Top the first half of the lid with this shade and top the second half of the lid with that shade. So yes, it's going to look like an all shimmer look. And then maybe put this in your transition area. That's easy for that. And then use the black as an eyeliner. Let me know if y'all see what I'm saying. And some palettes are structured to do looks in certain ways. And I think, I'll just say it, I think it makes us lazy. Because if you look at a palette, you can automatically see looks. Like when I held up both of the Esom palettes, when I held them up together, each column was a look, 6 shades each. That was easy. Just put it together. And I did that all in one video, which was long as hell. And so what I still stand by it makes us lazy in the sense that if you see it, you can do it. You're not going to experiment. You're not going to want to try something new because it's obvious that this is what you can do versus what should I do? Like what's going to be fun? And so that's this palette right here. Or, even easier, put this all over the lid, which is looking tan in person. So I don't know what's happening. I'm seeing gray on my screen. Put this all over the lid and top it with that. Or just put this all over the lid and put this for outer corner. So there's like really simple, easy. Thank you, Sarah. I still feel like I'm half asleep. I'm told I multitask very well when I'm sleeping. And so if you don't know what else to do, just put down a mat and just layer it. Or put a shimmer on your lid and just use something for your transition shade, if that's how you do your makeup. And it doesn't irk me anymore. But it used to irk me how the majority of YouTubers, they do transition, crease, outer corner, glitter glue, put a shimmer. And I'm just like, can y'all not all do the same exact technique? But that's just me, because once I feel like this, and let me know if y'all feel the same way too. Once you learn what you like for you, sometimes it does require a different technique than the typical YouTuber's way. But it comes down to just being comfortable with what you like and not caring too much, which is part of the motto of the Crazy Troll Nation, not caring too much what the beauty community is going to say. Because they will tell you that. And even in the class, do your transition, do the crease. And I'm just like, there is something to it though, because especially with the Fenty primer that's tacky for me, putting down the transition first, it did make blending the other shades easier, but I typically don't even have problems with blending. And so for me, it's neither here nor there. So I do see the appeal and I do understand why they do it, but I just don't do my makeup that way. And so this is an easy palette to talk about. Some of the other ones are going to be a little more complicated, and so I'm hoping I don't confuse myself. We're going to talk about the Nomad. Did y'all hear that? Tanya says I have to be bold with my colors in order to come from behind my glasses. Yep. And I wear glasses too. And I have contact lenses, but I stopped wearing them during COVID. And I think both of my boxes, because I have different prescriptions for each eye, I think they both expire like in December this year. No, either December this year or like spring next year. And I have way too many to use them up because they're the ones you can reuse for like a week. And I actually reuse them for like 3 weeks. But if you don't have this color story, just think of the colors that you have. It surprised me when I purchased this, because y'all know I like dark. Ain't nothing dark about this palette at all. I forget the looks I even did. I do have a playlist for every palette that I'm showing you. So this one, this is what's typical. This is what's typical. Transition shade, first half of the lid, second half of the lid, and maybe this on lower lash line. Most people are geared towards monochromatic looks. So they'll look at this and be like, oh, let's just use these 4 because these are all like in the green family. So you have your transition shade, your crease shade, first half of the lid, and then your inner corner. Really simple. But do you want to be simple like that? Not simple in a bad way, but do easy looks, I'll say. Let me see, where are we? Transition shade, crease shade. Excuse me if you heard that. Put this on the lid, and then put this on inner corner. So you have another monochromatic look. I do try to do things different. And that's why sometimes I'll do columns or I'll do rows, because if I do columns, it's automatically going to mix up what I'm doing. And so I do that on purpose to challenge myself and just to give you guys something different to see. Like says, I enjoy when people do palette bingo to be challenged to create non-obvious or comfort looks. I remember when y'all had me do palette bingo, and that was so much fun. It created some anxiety, but the random generator was kind to me. And we're going to talk about later, if I don't forget, if you don't know what to do with the colors you have, do a halo look. And we're going to figure that out with I Need a Warm and Circle Loco, because I had in my calendar to pair those together, and I'm looking at them like, I don't know. So for this one, if you want to be spicy, just put different shimmers on your lid. If you're using the same formula, specifically shimmers or metallics, they will blend together. Some people may say it might turn muddy if the undertones are different. If you don't care about that, which I don't, because I like messy grunge anyway. Sarah says she likes to try to mix colors and finishes so you don't do the same thing all the time. Exactly. Because it can get boring. And sometimes being predictable with makeup is good. Just like with I Need a Warm, golden, I Need a nude. Whatever I do is going to look nice. But then it's like, but it's basic to me. You know what I'm saying? So if we wanted to go outside the box, let's see what we could do. We could, and this, I am feeling challenged right now because I didn't plan out like what I was going to point out, but you can do, you know what, let's do a halo eye with this. So, excuse me, we're going to, well, not actually going to, put this on your outer corner. I know it's really light, the outermost and innermost, and then put this on the inside of that, and then go in with this shade, and then put this on the center. Yes, it's monochromatic, I know. And if you want to be spicy, put this as transition and put this on your lower lash line. So there are a lot of different colors. Locks, as I love boring most of the time. But it works though, because the easy looks, the so-called boring looks, like they are really pretty though. And they are hard to mess up on, which is good. And so if you are rushing out to work or you're rushing out to go somewhere, you know it's going to look decent. If you want to, I haven't done it yet, but I want to do it. So I'm thinking, not necessarily this palette, but just like this type of look in general. Put this on the outer lid and put this on the first portion of the lid. So we're going to break up the mattes. Outer lid, put this on your inner corner. And then to be spicy, you could take this blue, so it's monochromatic in a way, and put that where the blue side is, and take a green and put next to this green on your inner corner. So it'll be funky, but I promise you it would be pretty. And if you want to break up the colors, put this in the middle, just add a nice pop. And I guarantee you somebody will be like, hey, Tony. Somebody will be like, wow, that's really pretty. When I wear funky looking stuff to the Playhouse, but then it's the Playhouse, it's a different type of environment. But anyway. Tanya says the palette makes her think Little Mermaid. Yeah, she goes to the islands. She goes to Paradise Islands. And so that's things you can do with this palette, is just think of different colors that you may not normally think to do, or do a two-tone look. Do a monochromatic on one eye with the greens and do a monochromatic with the blues and purples on the other eye. And I really don't remember what looks I did with this palette or what combination we used, but that's something you can do with this one. If you really want to challenge yourself, just say, I'm going to do this diagonal. And I usually do go light to dark. I did do a look recently, dark to light, dark inside to light. And I think I'm going to do that again because it was really nice. I think it was nice. So you can put this on your inner lid, this on the center lid, and this on your outer corner. And because these are all shimmers, metallics, whatever Nomad calls them, they will blend together. And if you want to have a matte for transition, because this is your outer corner, put this as your outer corner transition shade. Because this is inner corner, put this as your inner corner transition shade. So everything will blend together. And I'm hoping that this makes sense because it does look kind of funky, but funky in a good way. Funky in a good way. And so if you wanted to do, I would do that, but I don't think most people would do that, what I was getting ready to say. So you can do anything you want to do. So I do encourage y'all just to experiment with your palettes. And I stand by, if you're using shimmers or metallics, if they're the same finish, they will look right because it is going to blend together. Not so much with mattes, depending on the formula. For Natasha Denona, I love her creamy matte and cream to powder formula, and it seems like she's doing away with the cream to powder. But to me, they kind of work the same. We're going to talk about the Lethal Midnight Serenade palette that I almost didn't get. They have this on sale with a bundle with what is that one? Boathouse Farms Amazing Mango is the drink of the hour. So that's serving as my breakfast. I just got up at like 7:30 tonight. I went to sleep, y'all, at like 3 this afternoon. Around 3 this afternoon, I went to sleep and my alarm was set for 7, but I actually got up at 7:30. And so I don't think I'm gonna do a look today. Because tomorrow I have a 10:30 massage client coming. And so when he leaves, I'll probably lay back down. And then I need to pack for Academy, which is Thursday. And so I'm just like, and my sink is full of dirty dishes. I have 2 days worth of makeup brushes to wash. I need to get it together. Yesterday was a rough day, y'all. Yesterday was rough. I talk about that in the video, one of the videos I did yesterday. Well, I should say this morning because it was like I got up close to midnight. So this palette, excuse me, I'm not going to get into like why I almost didn't get it because I talk about it every time I use it. Sarah says I'm getting me some CR and eggnog as soon as your life is over. I ain't even mad at you. I didn't know you were a masseuse too. I started doing massages. Might have been like in 2017. Yeah. And then COVID came, people were calling for appointments. I'm like, nope, I shut everything that all of my side hustles, I shut down during COVID because people still wanted to come. And me, I'm home, so I know I'm safe. You at work, you out in the no, I shut all that shit down. And amazingly, a few people from back then, because even in 2020, I wasn't seeing clients either. But there's a couple that still come see me every now and then. And this guy tomorrow, I don't even know what made him look it up, but he's like, we met 7 years ago. And I'm like, what? He's the one I was talking to my friend Princess about, but I'm just like, you've been in my life a long time. Like, what the hell is happening here? But yeah, so he'll be here. He lives an hour south of me. And he goes to the VA hospital in Wilmington, which is 20 minutes north of me. And so when he does come, it's usually after his appointment. So it's always like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, where's my Mountain Dew? But do I have security? No, but I have a mini stun gun and pen knives and stuff. When I first meet people, I meet them out in public. I don't never just give a stranger my address. And so I always vet them. We're meeting at Panera Bread, Dunkin' Donuts, the library, somewhere in public during the daylight hours, and then we sit and talk. And if I don't have that icky feeling, um, then they become a client. And there has been a couple where I was just like, no, 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 no. And so I've learned to pay attention to my gut and my clinical nature, my analytical thinking nature. When I'm talking to people, I'm really listening to what they're saying and what they're not saying. So if I feel like something's kind of not on the level, then I don't take them as a client. So, and I have a sideline number, so they don't even get my real number. The sideline number, they up the price, y'all. It's $70 a year. But if somebody looks up that number, it'll show up as an unlisted landline, but it's actually a mobile number. And so I use that for people I'm not sure about. But yeah, he's been with me for a while, and a couple other people too have been with me for a while. But yeah, so I have a lot of little side things here and there that I do. So looking at Midnight Serenade, this is a dual chrome, so that one can go either way. These you can put any of these for your transition if you do your transition first. Any of these for transition, or you can do this as your transition. Excuse me. Do this on your outer corner and put one of these on the lid if you want a grungy look. So that's what I would do, but I wouldn't do transition first. I would do first quarter of the lid, second quarter of the lid, third quarter of the lid, and outer corner, the fourth quarter of the lid. Thank you, Lock. And I almost didn't get it. And I'll say it even though I said I wasn't, because these all kind of blend into the same shade and it annoys me. These two next to each other look the same. These two next to each other look the same. And even though these look like different tones, when I put this next to this, it blends in. If I put this next to this, it blends in. And so, and that's why I almost didn't get it, but I am glad that I did. And I think maybe I just wanted to buy something, and I know that lethal works for me. But I do like all the looks that I did. Lock doesn't have any lethal on her Black Friday holiday sale list, but now I'm thinking, if you do, use Teresa's code. Teresa's dead. Her code is garbage. It'll save you 10%. Yeah, hers is always the one I use for lethal stuff. They have this bundled with Mellow Groove or Groove Mellow, whatever the one is that's lighter than this one. And me, like a dingbat, I was thinking of getting it. And I'm like, I barely almost got this one because it's lighter than, damn it, what's that palette? Jolena. There's another lethal palette. I think it was Jolena. Similar color story, but grungier. It had deeper tones in it. But you might like the Mellow Groove, or is it Groove? I think it's Mellow Groove. It's lighter than this one, but the shimmers and everything look really pretty. And I think they would really pop on your complexion look. I think that would really look nice on you. I really do. But these four annoy me because they all look the same. And I did an experiment when I first used it, and I did put them side by side just to see. I put these side by side just to see, and I'm like, you know what? So, and also looking at this palette, you can do columns. You can do columns. Put this on the first 3/4 of the lid, put this on outer corner, put this on transition. This one, you have one shimmer. Put this all across your lid. Is that a duochrome? This is what I see in person with this shade. And when I'm looking in my monitor, it looks yellow. So I was like, what? Put this all over the lid, put this outer corner, and put this in your transition area. So just make up looks in your mind and then just see how they look, because that's really what I'm doing right now. Put this all over the lid, put this outer corner, put this in transition or for lower lash line. This row, you have two shimmers, and this one is a duochrome. Put this in your tear duct area, put this across the lid, and either lightly put this in the transition because it is a dark shade, or put this for outer corner. I do believe this one is a duochrome as well. Put this all over the lid. Use this for transition. Use this for your brow bone or tear duct. So that's 5 easy looks with this palette if you just go according to columns. And so when you see palettes, look at what's under it, what's next to it, what's above it. And that's something we're going to talk about more with Natasha, because she designs her palettes that way. And when I heard her explain it that way, no. I heard Alicia Archer explain it, that she heard Natasha and one of her videos explain it that way. And that's what really changed for me how I see looks and palettes. I'm thinking about what Natasha said. If you want to do all shimmer and you want to be funky in a good way, you can do this trio right here, this diagonal. And I say funky in a good way because this is a duochrome, this is a duochrome. Put this on first third of the lid, center lid, and put this on the outer lid. Nice funky shimmer look, and you have 2 duochromes. And if you need something for transition, or you want to do transition, any of these will work. Or even this one if you go lightly, because this one can go dark. And for this, if you don't want to put a black on your lid, you can use this for your eyeliner. And so for me, the more I experimented, the more I looked at what's around a shadow, it helped me to be more comfortable with mixing up colors and just going and doing things that most people wouldn't do. Because most people transition, crease, lid, transition, crease, lid, because they're monochromatic and they're easy. And there's nothing wrong with monochromatic and easy. It's really not. But even with that, you can have fun, because then it also helps you use the entire palette. And a lot of people don't want to use black or dark brown. Use it for eyeliner. Use it anyway. Another easy look that I think will look pretty and a little funky in a good way. Put this on the first half of the lid, put this blue on the second, and put this on your outer corner to smoke it out. Or put this black all over your lid and into your crease and transition area, and then top the lid with one of these shimmers, because that'll spice up the look. You see what I'm saying? So y'all thinking any of these I'm showing you looking crazy? Like the looks that I'm saying you could do. If you have similar color stories, if you don't have this, that's fine. But I'm hoping that this will help you, like when you're looking at your palettes, to motivate you and encourage you to just try something new. And even if you, and like me in a lot of videos, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to look, but we're going to do it. Like just to do it and just have fun with our makeup and just experiment. And so those are easy looks that I'm seeing looking in this palette right now. And I don't even know if I've done those looks that I just said, but those are some easy things that you can do. And if you have a shade, like say you do like a purple monochromatic look, like these shades right here, transition, crease, lid, be funky and put this shimmer blue on your lower lash line. Who in here puts shimmers on their lower lash line besides me? And usually I put them over a pencil liner. But who in here puts shimmers on lower lash line? Because usually I only see people put mattes on their lower lash line. And if they do a shimmer, it's just their tear duct and they'll wrap it. They'll put it like here and then wrap it around here and not put shimmer all the way across. Lock, you do everything. I know you do because you be enjoying hiccuping, excuse me, your makeup. The black, blue, and purple will look great together. This purple, the black, blue, and the purple. And even this purple, if you wanted to have two mattes. This is a beautiful shade because it's really bold. And even though lethal dual chromes, they show up really nice. Whichever shade they show up as, they look really nice. And so it is a nice palette. These four just annoy me because I could have just done with just this one and this one instead of like all four of those. But I do use them because they're in here, and I need to get back to using this palette. It's not Lethal is not a popular brand, and so Tanya says she does shimmer liner pencil sometimes. I love lining my lower lash line. How some people used to say, your makeup look isn't done if you don't have a brow bone shade. Your look isn't done if you don't have a tear duct shade. For me, my look isn't done until I do lower lash line. Until I put that shimmer or whatever down there. And sometimes I'll put two different shades. And so if you wanted to, you could do that as well. Say you do a matte look. Well, not even that. Let's say we did what we just said, transition, crease, and put this on the lid, put this on your inner corner, put this on first half lower lash line, put this on second half lower lash line, just to funk it out a little bit, funky in a good way, because it's something different than most people wouldn't do it. And I enjoy doing things that I think most people wouldn't do because my back is starting to hurt sitting that way. Because it is something different. You know what I mean? And so that's something easy you can do. If you just want to use a shade, you don't know where to put it on your lower lash line. That's all. And so that's what we're going to end with this palette. I just saw something else. This is really easy. What was I just looking at? These three shades right here. Excuse me. Put this on your lid, put this on outer corner, and do this lightly in transition or lower lash line, and then top it with this one. Just incorporate this color so it'll, tie in. So even like these three shades right here. And because this is a dual chrome, it's going to look right with either one of these. And that's something too. If you're dealing with dual chromes, it's going to go. It's going to look right. A bit whimsy. What was it you used to say, Tanya? Let your inner whimsical shine. Because it was a whole phrase you would do at the end of your videos. Because you would say something whimsical and then let your inner whimsy shine, or something you would say. What was it you used to say, Tanya? I forgot to you just now put in the chat. It's a bit whimsy. So it's like 74 degrees in here. Excuse me if you heard that. And outside it is 66. So I think I'm using my neighbor's heat, which is fine with me, y'all. Yo, why the other day was it 81 degrees? And the day before that was like 50 something? I don't think the weather knows what it wants to do. Circle Loco. We're going to talk about Circle Loco. You can't remember, Tanya? You got to watch one of your videos to see what you used to say. So I don't want to glare you. This is Circle Loco. I love this palette because this palette, I've only not like one look that I did. Was it this one? It was three of us that did the collab. I don't think it was. I think it was this one. And we did looks by columns. And my column was the top column. These two shades do not show up on me. These are the same exact colors, except this one is matte and this one is a shimmer or metallic, whatever. You got your fan on. I didn't think to bring it over here with me. And I was hot before I came over here. And I thought maybe because I had just got up and I was rushing around. Tony, you haven't used your Circle Local palette yet? How long have you had it? Tony, you got a lot of makeup. Because even with my curated collection, there's still stuff like I haven't used in a long time. Right now, I'm going through Natasha palettes, and I'm not calling it a month of Natasha, but we're going to be rocking. I think I did 2 videos so far, 6 looks so far, 3 for each video, and I have other stuff planned out. How long have you had your Circle Local, Tony? It's not limited edition. And last year, was it? Let me see what my label says. Last year, she had Circle Loco and Biba as a bundle deal for like her Black Friday, whatever sale. So I repurchased both Biba and Circle Loco. No, yeah, I put this last year, last October, because the POA is October next year, and her palettes are good for 24 months, at least 24 months. The PAO is 24 months. Yeah, so this technically expires in another year. And I also repurchased Leela too from that sale. And I did use Leela again, y'all. And I have it for my kit, but now I'm thinking like, And so I didn't, and I cheated for the collab. I did a look, I didn't like it. So then I did a second look. And some of the comments were, for that to be the same 5 shades, both the looks were like extremely different. And they were like, they wouldn't have thought it was the same 5 shades. And so that taught me something too, like just how to mix stuff up. And what was funny about that collab, none of us liked the look that we did. none of us liked the look that we did. The second look I liked better, but the first one I was like, Tony, I'm still waiting. How long you had your Circle Loco? This eye keeps tearing. And that's ironic because when I do videos, this is the eye that tears. So what Natasha has said, well, what Alicia said, Natasha had said, was she designs her palettes in a way that you can take any shade and use what's around it and it'll work. You can take any column and it'll work, any diagonal and it'll work. And I see this in that palette somewhat. Other palettes are a little easier, but that's how she said that. And it changed how I look at palettes. So I look at Grin. I'm going to tell you something, y'all. This right here, this Grin shade, this goes with everything around it. This goes with the blue. It goes with the purple. It goes with Cannon, the orange. It goes with this. It goes with that. It goes with this over here. It goes with that. This shade goes with everything in this palette. And I got to make myself not use it. The blues, bad tills are so pretty. This palette. So for looks, this one, and she does set you up easy too. Some people are like, oh, these are the same shade. No, it's not. This one has a turquoise blue base. This one down here has a lavender purple base. And so that would be your most used palette if you had it. This, I just love this. A lot of people didn't like it, but then everybody doesn't like everything. I was like, blasphemous. What? This palette is so much fun. So because this has a purple base to it, it easily goes with these two. And you can use this for your transition, or you can use this for, I don't know. But easily these 4 right here can be a look. And so what she did was she placed this near what it goes with. This one up here, because it has a turquoise blue base, it goes with this shade, it goes with this shade, it goes with that shade. So she sets you up, even though it's not a diagonal or a column, she sets you up for a look right here. And depending on your complexion, you can use this for your brow bone. This makes me look dusty, and so does this one, unless I do a very thin line. If I take this and do my entire brow bone, it's ashy, but I've learned to work with it. And because these two don't show up on me, they're good for just blending or putting in transition. November 2023, Tony, you had this palette for a year and you ain't use it? Tony, we got a lot of collabs to do. We're palette twins for a lot of Notoriously Morbid, so we're going to be doing collabs with that. I'm telling you now what we're doing, okay? We're going to be looked with that. I am sweating. And then I do have on my skincare, but I forgot my cream for the redness around my nose, thankfully, because that makes me sweat too. And we can collab with this too if you want to. And so that's the easy look. These 4 shades right here. Outer corner. Put this on the center of the lid. Put this for tear duct. And put this for your transition if you have to have a transition. For these shades up here, outer corner, center lid. And you can put this on first. No, that's a matte. Outer corner, center lid, first half of the lid, and use this for your transition shade. So Natasha do be setting us up. And if you wanted to be easy, this is a nice look right here too. And you might look at it, this column, and think it doesn't. But the way this shade is called Grin. It just goes with everything in this palette. So you can put this on first half of the lid, put this on second half of the lid, and put this for your outer corner. Or use it for a liner if you want to. And even though I said how this has a purple base to it, you can put this for your tear duct, put this on center lid, and put this on your outer corner. Put this on your center lid. Well, put this across the lid, this for outer corner. Use this for transition if you want to. So she really does set you up the way she does her palettes. If you wanted to do this row right here, me, I would do first quarter of the lid, second quarter, third quarter, outer lid, and I would use this for transition, and I would probably put this for lower lash line. Grin is nice, y'all. That shade, it just amazes me how it ties in everything in this palette, except for the red and pink. And if you wanted to be monochromatic, transition, crease, lid. You want to be monochromatic, and if they show up on you, because these two don't show up on me, you can put this in your transition. This is a matte. Put this on first half of the lid, put this on second half of the lid. So she sets us up to do, I need to sit straight. Now my arm is hurting. It is gold and like an orangey gold or bronzy gold or something, but it is really pretty. And so she does set us up. And right now, and I don't know if I said it or not, these 3 right here, because Grin goes with everything in here except that pink and that red. First half of the lid, second half of the lid, outer corner. If you want to deepen it, put this on there. Or deepen it with this. This is a deep shade. This blue right here is really dark. And so even looking at this, and a lot of people didn't like it because they thought it looked scattered. And I'm like, just look at it. Just look at the colors. And because Natasha said, according to Alicia, just pick one color and just look at what's around it. Pick one color, look at what's around it. Even though this has a turquoisey undertone, which will go with this, that doesn't mean you still can't put this on your outer corner because these 2 shades are going to go together. So you see what I'm saying? And this can be your transition shade. You know what I mean? Easy 2 shadow look. Put this on the lid, deepen it with that. Or put this on the lid, even though this is more blue and this is more purple. Put that on outer corner. Or your lower lash line. One and done. Take any of these shimmers, put it all over the lid. And you're out the door. Circle Loco is going with this is Tanya. Her end of year sales are really good. And if next year she hasn't bundled again, I will get this and Biba again. I can tell you that right now. And so just looking at it though, people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And they'll do monochromatic. They'll take this shade, that shade, or they'll just use these right here or something. But this right here, I think I want to say, I'm going to look and see how many looks I have with this palette. Let me see. Circle Loco. I have, okay, I don't know. At least 19. I have 19 looks with this palette. And then I paired it with Biba. So I'm not going to count the pairings. Oh, wait. November 12th, I did my 22nd look with this palette. Says my calendar. 22. I love hearing myself say them numbers because I be using my stuff. 22 looks with this palette on its own, not including when I paired it with other palettes. How come I can't hold it straight? 22 looks. One I didn't like, that first one I did with the first row. But the colors in here, they do show up. And I will say that about one of the differences, and it just now came to my mind. In her older palettes, like Circle Loco, these shimmers show the hell up as color. But when But watch, when we get to warm, when we look at golden, when we look at xenon, when we look at I need a nude, those are those like high shine shimmers, but it's not a lot of color. These shimmers in here, these metallics in here, they show up what you see. And the creamy matte, cream to powder, they show the hell up too. This is a deep shade. You can go lightly. And what I noticed was, because I'm a packer, y'all see how I pack on. Tony said she has not used any of her palette 22 times. I was surprised to see that number. And I think I did almost 20, if not over 20, with 669 palette. Y'all be running through palettes like they cheap hoes. We're gonna keep on going. And I used to put the look number in my titles, and I stopped doing that because I really don't think anybody cares. But I will say in the video, if I remember, oh, this is look number 22, but I don't put it in the title anymore. I don't think. But I'm a packer. So like something like this, if I do outer corner first, outer corner first, I pack it on and it looks real deep. 669 was my soulmate. And I am glad with the lethal dupe I did, because when I did the side-by-side looks, one eye with lethal and one eye with 669, they were really similar. Not exactly, but they were similar. And I am so happy with that palette. Oh, Transmutation, the dark brown, and no, Transmutation was the black, Nocturnal was the dark brown that were out of stock for forever. They came back in stock and I purchased them. And so I'm going to put those back into whatever palette they were in before, because I had to switch around colors because I had Nocturnal and Transmutation and other palettes, and I took them out to put them in my 669 dupe because 669 rules everything. And so I'm going to be switching it back, which means, yeah. So the palettes I took them out of, I'm going to put them back in. But yeah, it seems like for lethal, their dark shades like that sell out quick. And so that's like hint, hint, make more dark shades. But because I'm a packer, if I put this on my outer corner, it shows up really dark. But then when I watch other people's videos, and I'll use Morgan Turner because she likes the lighter type looks. And most people in general that I see, the videos I see, they use a fluffy brush for their outer corner. And so this would come up looking light. This would come up looking light. And when I put it on, it'd be dark as hell. But it's because I pack and versus using a fluffy brush. They are rich in color payoff. They are. And her newer palettes, though, don't have that. Like warm, golden. And by nature, the color of them are lighter too. But even just talking about how the shimmers show up, except this one, and that's because of my complexion. Like this is so impactful. Whereas like her newer ones, it's that shimmy high shine that people love, but it's not a lot of color. It's just that shine. You know what I'm saying? So give me this. And that's why I really love it. And that's why I'm 22 looks in, not counting when I paired it. Hey, Sylvia. Oh, y'all. This giveaway ended today. So I need to put on my community tab. I am sweating, y'all. Like, this is gross. Oh, goodness. And so... yeah, we're going to put this down for now. We're going to come back to it. Excuse me. And so she sets you up for easy looks. And then you can do, diagonals. You can do rows. When I challenged myself to do rows with this one, again, I didn't like the first look I did, but it taught me something. You can make anything work. You might not like it. And other people said they thought the look was nice. And I'm like... I didn't like it, but the second look I did with it in that collab, because I did both those looks in one video. So I'm like, I'm probably cheating, but I'm going to do a second look because I like the first one. And so challenge yourself to do that too. If you just be like, I'm going to just do rows. I'm going to just do columns and just see what happens. I'm going to do diagonals. Because any of these, you can do a diagonal. You can put this on your lid, put this on inner corner, and do this for transition. Because for me, this just, makes me look ashy, like I said, but depending on your complexion, or put this for your lower lash line. Like, just challenge yourself to do that. Put this on the lid, this for outer corner, and put this for transition. So that's it. So you see what I'm saying? You can go any way, and she designed her palettes like that, but we just need to just look and not look for the easiest thing like, oh, orange, 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 that's a look. Purple, 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 that's a look. Teal, that's a look. Pink, hot pink, reddish, that's a look. So just to encourage you to look at what's around it and to look at possibilities. And again, with shimmers, if they're shimmers or metallics, they will blend together. Different mattes, they may not. And they may look funky. Like if I tried to blend this next to that one, but because this doesn't show up on me, that might work. That was not a good example. But if you wanted to put this one, which is like a greenish type shade, next to this one, these are different finishes. This is cream to powder. No, this is creamy matte, it looks like. This is cream to powder. So they might not mix well, but if you're using metallics and shimmers, they're going to mix well. And so that's an encouraging tidbit for you. The last one we're going to look at, I'm lying, because we're going to look at warm, but then we're going to figure out how I'm going to pair warm with Circle Loco. Because I wrote it in my calendar to do, but then I was sitting here looking at them before this live, and I'm like, that ain't going to go. And I didn't want to be typical and just use the browns. And ironically, when I had Circle Loco before, I took out this shade and I put a brown here. I never used the brown. I still used everything else and never used the brown. And I thought I would. But so when I got this one, I said I'm gonna just leave it like it is. This one is I Need a Warm. And this is what this looks like. And so you see what I'm saying, even with the shimmers, it's that high shine type of look. Excuse me for the glares across the bottom. But then by nature of the palette, this is the color story of the palette. It's not the crazy circus at all. This I'm seeing green when I look over here. This is what I see in person with this shade. And when I hold it up straight, I see orange. So that's a dual chrome. So by the looks of it, like what would you do? You can do this column. This is a metallic or a shimmer. Transition, crease, lid, easy. These are all shimmers. If you don't mind all shimmers, do the same thing. First quarter lid, second quarter lid, third quarter to lid. Well, quarters are 4. First, third, second, third, outer corner. And then maybe deepen it with that and maybe put this for lash line. So just look at it and just make up stuff. Some of these shades, and we know Natasha does this. We know other people do this too. They put shades in that are similar to another shade, but the undertone is different because this one in person does not look much different than this one. This one in person does not look much different than this one, except this one is lighter. And Natasha does that. These are different finishes. I believe this is creamy matte by looking at it, and I believe this is cream to powder by looking at it, or the slip cream, whatever she did. But they look the same, but they're just different finishes. And other brands do it too. So it's not just Natasha. But for some reason, I notice it more when Natasha does it, and maybe because I use a lot of Natasha. And the same with Lethal with that Midnight Serenade. And I think it's because I use a lot of Lethal. But every brand does that. If you wanted to do a matte look, transition, crease, outer corner, and put this on the lid, or put anything on the lid, because these 3 are going to go together the same way these 3 are going to go together. This one I think is a metallic, so you can put this on the lid, outer corner, crease. She makes it really easy. If you want to use this shade right here, look at what's around it. Put this shade on the lid. Let me back up and do it the YouTuber's way. Transition, crease, put this on the lid, use this as transition. All just looking at this one shade, we've pulled in 1, 2, 3, or 4 colors. If you want to use this one right here, we'll say this one. Oh, I stuck my finger in it. Damn it. This one right here. What you can do is if you want to go a little bit darker, transition, crease. I'll say put this on the lid because it's a dual chrome, and put this for your tear duct, and use this for your brow bone. So any one shade, just look at what's around it and do a look like that. I think I will like it better than bronze. The warm, I keep, every now and then I think to get bronze, and I really think it's only because I know that Natasha's shadows work for me, because the bronze shades would blend into my complexion. They would blend in. And so I'm like, but then I got nude for my kit. And I still want to play with that more because I'm actually enjoying playing with that. And it's surprising to me. And I got warm and I got golden, even though I like smoky and grungy. Like, who am I lying to here? Like, am I in denial? I don't know. But you're looking at the bronze shades, and because half the palette is metallic or shimmers, they will just blend into my complexion. And that's why I never purchased it. But then, as I said, I got golden, which blends in, and the warm, which kind of blends in. So I'm just like, so I don't know. If you want to do something easy, transition, crease, put this on the lid. If you want to go a little bit darker, put this one first half the lid, this one second half the lid, deepen it with this, and maybe use that for brow bone. And so whatever shade you look at, just look at what's around it and just put it together. And it's going to work because she sets up her palettes that way that it's going to work. The only one that was tricky, I would say, was damn, what was that palette? The one where one side was cool tone and one side was warm tone. Was that the Zendo palette? But even for me, because I will mix tones, some people say don't mix cool tone and warm tones. I do. So I use both sides of the palette for almost every look I did just to show people you can do it, because people are like, don't do that. And I'm like, you ain't going to tell me what to do. Well, they weren't saying that to me, but they say in videos, but we're going to do warm tone, look, use a shade. And we're going to do cool tone, look over here. Thank you, like it wasn't though. But when I did looks, I made it a point to use both because you can. And that's part of the motto. Do what you want to do. And if I'm not mistaken, Colin did the same thing. Queer Bones, he was mixing both sides of the palette. Because people will be telling you what you can't do. Excuse me, we grown. So this is warm. The only thing with this palette for me, look at my complexion, y'all. These browns, they kind of all show up the same, unless they're the darker ones. The shimmers in here, they kind of all show up the same. I can say I do like all the looks that I did. And I think I did either this one or golden. Golden, I think I did over 10 looks. There's like I had a pimple right here or whatever it was, like right here in the crease of my nose. And you can probably see where it's red. So that's what I keep messing with that I need to stop. At least I ain't digging in my nose. That's why I turn this way. So you're going to be like, why is she digging her now? No, I'm over here. That's such a troll. But I forget how many looks I did with this one, but I do like all the looks I did. And I think with golden, when I bust out the 10 looks, somebody had commented, all the looks are pretty, they're just basic. And I said, you know what, that's the perfect description. Pretty but basic. I can pick this up and do a look easy because it's all going to go together because it all look the same. And so it is an easy palette to use, and I do like the formula. And I will say that this shade, because of dual chrome, it does spice it up, and she needed that spice because but it is what it is, and I got it. And I actually enjoy it. So here's what I was looking at earlier, because I really don't know what the hell. But we're going to figure it out. And I like Zendo too. I don't think I would repurchase it though, because I'm not really into the reds. But it was only, I think, a couple in there. Or maybe I'm thinking of Sunrise. I don't know. So here's what I don't know about. We're going to figure it out, and I'll probably forget after I say this, so I might have to write it down if it does happen to make sense. I want to cover up this mirror with something. All right. Can I hold all this up and not be as awkward as I am? I done stuck my finger in cotton candy and in Fun to Mine. I really love Circle Loco. I'm not going to be able to hold this other palette up here. Let me see if I do it this way. Because I had mentioned earlier, I have in my notes to pair these two together. And when I was sitting here looking at them, I'm like, that's not going to work. And I don't want to be typical, because I was typical in some of the pairings that I did, that the video, I did schedule it. It didn't air yet. I paired Biba with something. And what did I use from Biba? The brown shades. And I don't want to do that with Warm. So I was looking at this like, how are we going to pair this? And because these metallics are very colorful, this is not. So looking at, okay, like this would go with that and this one, but then it might blend into one shade, except this has a dual chrome effect. And even though I do monochromatic looks and I do think they're pretty, I don't prefer them. I just like to have variety on my channel, so it could be a little something for everybody. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do monochromatic, but that would be the easiest thing is, maybe put this just for spice. Well, put this on inner lid, put this on the center for spice, and then put this one. That is so friggin' simple. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't even say, well, for me, you could put this on outer corner, but this doesn't show up on me. So I was looking at this thinking, and I said this in one of my videos, I had said, if you don't know what to do a halo eye, because you can just put together combinations and just make it work. Well, for me, why is it red right here? It is red right there. Did something bite me? Right here. Damn. Let me stop being distracted by my facial features and whatever bit me on my face. So what I was thinking, and I don't know if it's going to work, because these shades in here, this is dark, this is dark, this is dark. Creamy matte. That's a creamy matte. This is a cream to powder. These are all metallic shimmer type stuff. This is a creamy matte. I can tell by how the brush strokes look in it. So I'm looking at these two like, what the hell? So this is going to be a challenge for me. So I'm going to figure something out. And what I'm thinking is to do a halo look. What I really want to use this purple. The look I did yesterday, was that yesterday? When I paired it, I think I used these 3 shades. And I don't want to use these 3 shades. Grin is easily my favorite. This is my second favorite. This is a really bold, beautiful color. So I don't want to use these 3. So I'm looking at this like, how can I make this work with this without just using the browns in here? And then even looking at the browns, are they going to go with anything in here except for the oranges that don't show up on me? It'll go with these 2 for sure in that one. But I'm looking at this like, I really want to use this purple. This is Act and this is Flip. I really want to use those 2 shades. And so I'm looking at this like, how can I make that work? So what I'm thinking is, because y'all know I do second to the darkest shade, all the way out, all the way in, and then the deepest shade inside. And so what I'm thinking, and I don't think I've done an all shimmer halo look before, but I'm thinking to put this all the way out, all the way in, and then putting this one inside of it, and then maybe put this inside of it because it's a dual chrome, and then putting either this one or one of these as a stripe down the center. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm looking at this like, how are these going to work? I don't know. But that's what I'm kind of thinking. And I think it'll kind of look funky, but maybe in a good way. Or even doing that, maybe just put this inner lid, second quarter of the lid. And because that's a dual chrome and it has that gold, depending on how you look at it, then put this one and then this on the outer corner. So I think that might work. I don't know. But we're going to see. And I do think that's what we're going to do. Because I definitely want to use these 2 and I definitely want to use that one. Because this will go with more in here because it has that flip to it. And so I'm challenging myself, y'all, because I'm really like, but y'all know I do stuff and I'm usually like, anyway. So what do y'all think? Y'all think that'll work? Inner corner, center lid, this part of the lid. I don't know what I'm saying. First quarter of the lid, second quarter of the lid, third quarter of the lid, and outer corner. And because of these 2 tones, put this as the first tab transition. And I don't know for the rest of the transition. Yo, I be just making up stuff. Are you taking notes of all these looks like this? You can create it. I do know I want to use these 2 lock, Flip and Act. And I do know I want to use this one, which is Phenomena. I do know that. I just need to figure out how to make it work because I don't want to be typical and just use the browns for like outer corner. And honestly, I don't even think, I think the only thing these browns would go with because of the tone of them would be the oranges and these two right here. Because I'm looking at this like, even though they're brown, it just, to me, it doesn't look like it would work with anything except the oranges and these two and maybe this one. But I don't want to be typical. And so what will be interesting is if it does work. First quarter lid, second quarter, third quarter, outer lid. And use this for transition because it is very light on me. Or if I'm feeling some kind of way, maybe this one. But it's dusty unless I just do a thin line. You know what I'm thinking now? Okay, same thing. First quarter lid, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter the lid. First half transition, because that'll go with these two. And second half transition, either cotton candy or joker, because cotton candy or joker, that pink, that'll go with this purple. That's the one that's going to be on the outer corner. So I think that'll work. Damn, I hope I remember that. I think I will remember that. I've been thinking about this. I sat here for like 5 minutes before the live stream trying to think of how to make these two go together. And I don't know when I'm going to do it because I need to rest today because dude will be here like 10:30 tomorrow morning, which is when I'm usually asleep. And then I still got to pack and do all that stuff and be out of here Thursday. But Thursday I do plan to do a little before I leave. But then now, like, I don't know. I just wish I knew my roommate. The person they usually put me with, like, she's hella cool. And we have a system. I'm a night shower. She's a morning shower. So when she goes in the bathroom, she's in there like 20 minutes or so. And that's when I would do, my videos. But this new person, like, I don't. And I'm on faculty. The person they put for my roommate is a student. So I'm kind of like, so not that we are like all, I think around the same age, but we're not peers, so to speak, because I'm here to teach you and you're a student, but you're my roommate. And so I'm kind of, yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking with this one. I'm excited about it. I'm not even gonna say I'm nervous about it because y'all know I just be doing stuff anyway. Even if I'm not sure how it's gonna come out, I'm like, we're gonna find out. We're gonna learn today. And I have a paper for Circle Loco of Look to Do that's been in here for forever. So that, y'all, is all we had here to talk about. Let me know if this was helpful. Explaining like how to see looks in palettes. And it really did help me with what Natasha said. All palettes are not that way though. If you have a rainbow palette, that ain't gonna work. But for Natasha's palettes, pick one shade, look at what's around it. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. And she sets it up that way. Pick the shade, it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what changed how I look at palettes. And even like how we were looking at how to make Circle Loco in this work. Okay, what the purple and that blue, they're metallics, they will go together. That top shade, the dual chrome, and the one underneath it, that'll go together. How can we get all of those to go together? And when I think about for transition shades, that was a lot because we had 4 on the lid, 5 first half transition, 6, and we didn't even do lower lash line. So that's how I'll be using like 6, 7 shades for looks sometimes. Tanya said maybe they have it set up. No, because they've never done. What it is that there's an odd number of female students. There's an even. Is there an odd number of male students too? I think there's an odd number of male students too, because usually they do put a student with a student, and they'll pair like faculty with faculty. But if there's an odd number, if there's like 9 male students, somebody's the odd man out, and so they'll put whoever the leftover male student with a male faculty. So that's how they did that. And there were 9 female students. They pair them up. That's 8. You got one person that don't have, and they're not going to put a student in a room by themselves. I've never even had a room by myself. But and so that's how they did that. That's the only time they do that is when there's like an odd number. And it's 2 people per room because it's, double beds in a room. But usually they pair me with one of the other faculty, and she's real cool. But this time I was like, Harpo, who this woman? So I'm hoping she's cool, but I think it's going to be kind of weird just based on the fact that we're not peers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to be snotty or anything, but if you're a teacher, you're on faculty, you don't want to cross those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not your friend, I'm your teacher, kind of thing. But that's just me. And another person, they put a student with a male faculty, and he's like, oh, they put me with so and so, so he's not thrilled about it either. And me and him are cool. I'm like, they could room us together. But so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, it is. But it is best to pair roles together. I think it only happens when it's just an odd number, because they're not going to put a student in the room by themselves. And as faculty, they pay for our room too, and so they're not going to put me in a room by myself unless I wanted to pay part of that, which I'll take a free room. And so, yeah, teacher, student. That's what they usually do. Yeah, but it just happened to be an odd number this time, and so that's how that happened. So, was this helpful to see how you can look at a shadow and think about how can I make this work with something else in here without being typical, or without just doing something monochromatic, without doing what like 50 other YouTubers do? Because that was the point. Excuse me, was me just trying to encourage you to do something different. And I do think we get comfortable in what we like and what we do. And I was thinking of when Fabulous 50osity did my face. She'll be here. I'm holding my phone. Let me look at my calendar. Not this weekend, because I'll be at Academy. And then the next weekend, yeah, she'll be here next Saturday for me to do her face. Because when she was supposed to come, what had happened? I know my uncle had passed. And it was something, I don't know if I had a migraine that day or something. And I was just like, I just cannot do it. And so she'll be here next Saturday. But even thinking about that, like, people gravitate towards what they're comfortable with. And I don't want to be comfortable. Thank you, Tanya. I'm glad it was. Yeah, and that's from Natasha. Just pair up colors, the quads, trios, 3 colors in a row, either as part of a row or a column or a diagonal. And that really changed how I see palettes. And another thing that changed for me, how I see palettes in general, is Grace. Because she'll be like, you don't need this because you got this. And so I'm looking like, damn, she right. They do look the same. And so watching her videos, it has me looking at stuff like, and I don't have a lot of stuff. Y'all know that. But I be looking at stuff like, that look like such and such I have. That look like such and such I have. So her videos are really helpful. The colorful versus muted, and of course the why you don't need. But that helps me too. When I see new stuff, I'm like, but yeah, that really helped me with what Alicia had said, that Natasha said. That's what changed for me. And it's not, the typical, especially if you don't want to do monochromatic looks, which is what people are geared to. And when I saw Paradise Islands, I already knew. I said, people want to do a purple look, a purple and blue look, or a green look, or a red and orange look. And that's what most people did. The only people that may switch it up, that do switch it up, would be Betty Jean and Annette and Karen and Grace. But other than that, y'all, you can look at a palette and whoever it is, you're like, okay, if they say we're going to do blues, you already know. You already know it's going to be transition, crease, lid, tear duct. Like, you can look at it. Because when you watch a person enough, you get to know their style. And that's why I do different types of looks and go inward to outward, outward to inward, and do 3 shadows on the lid, do 4 shadows on the lid, because I just want to keep it interesting. I don't want it to be where it's like, oh yeah, I know what she's gonna do. Oh yeah, she's gonna put that brown on the outer corner. Oh yeah, she's gonna put a blue lower lash line. Like I want to keep it interesting because I want our makeup to be interesting for us. I want our makeup to be fun for us. I want us to look at something and not be overly concerned with, I'm not going to do that because that might not look right. No, just do it and see. I want us to have that excitement. We spend a lot of money on makeup. We spend a lot of money on makeup, whether it's on sale or not, because something will be on sale. We'll buy something else we didn't intend to buy just because it's on sale. We spend money on makeup, so let's enjoy our makeup. Let's have fun with it. And so what if it don't come out right? You know not to use that color combination again. That's all. You learn something either way. Either you like it or you don't like it, but you're going to learn something. And if you do a look that you normally wouldn't do and you like it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And that's going to excite you. And I think that will motivate you to do more stuff like that because you're like, wow, I did that and that turned out nice. I want to do that again with this other palette. I want to try this color combination next. You know what I'm saying? And so just to get use out of what we have, because we have a lot. My stash is considerably small. I did my whole entire treasure troll trove in like 90 minutes. Some people, it's a 2.5 hour video just showing their palettes. Like for real. 300 eyeshadow palettes. We're gonna do a declutter. And I'm like, damn. I'm trying to get down to like in the 60s. But I want us to get out of our box. We all have our comfort zone. We do. I do too. I like messy grunge. I can just slap stuff wherever because I don't care how it looks. It's gonna look messy. That's the goal here. Is the messy grunge. But just to try something new and to be excited to try something and not be like, oh, I'll just use this and do the same look over and over. And I've heard that from people. They're like, oh yeah, I have this palette. I end up doing the same look every time I pick up this palette. Well, you could have just bought a quad for that. Why you get a 15 pan palette and you only keep using the same 4 shades? Don't be that person, y'all. Because y'all paid for the whole palette. Use the whole palette. If it shows up on you. If it doesn't, that's a different story. But so that is what we have for today, y'all. And I that was challenging for me, seeing what I could possibly do with Warm and Circle Loco. But we're gonna work something out. We're gonna work something out. And we're gonna do it. And we're just gonna just play in it, see what happens, and learn as we go. And here's a tip that Janessa said, and also that one of my tutors said, but Janessa has said it to me first. She has said, drag queen's tip. If something don't look right, put a shimmer on it. And you know what? It works because that shine will take away whatever muddiness or whatever's not blending right or whatever. It really does work. And what I forget what the look was I did for the online academy class. She was like, yeah, when you have that issue, just put something shiny on it. And I'm like, Janessa said that. But either way, you're going to learn. And if you're a person who scraps looks, if you have a vision, and usually I don't have a vision of what I want the look to look like, and I think that helps me because if you know what you want the look to look like, and it doesn't start to look that way, you may be like, I'll just take it off and start over. For me, I don't have a vision. I'm just like, I'm gonna just use these colors. Like I wanted to use that blue and that purple. We're gonna use that blue and that purple and that dual chrome from Warm, and then figure out whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that helps me not to already have this is what I want to do, and I don't match my makeup to my clothes. And y'all know, professional anyway here, wearing black all the time now, which goes with everything. But some people say, it was a video yesterday. She was like, y'all already know I'm gonna do a purple look because I have on a purple shirt, and I'm just like. Like what? And I know people match their makeup to their clothes, and so you do have a vision of kind of what you want to do if you do match. Sylvia says I have to go back and rewatch the beginning. There are beautiful palettes to work with. I appreciate it, Sylvia. Thank you. I think I was babbling for like the first 15 minutes because I just woke up like 30 minutes before the live, so I was just like, and trying to give YouTube time to notify people because they pair. I'm looking at Locke's comment. I feel like it's best to pair roles. Yeah, okay. So that's what I was looking at when I said what I said, which didn't make any sense. So I was just kind of waiting. But so I don't have a vision of what I want the look to look like. I just know what shades I want to use. Excuse me. And so if you are doing a look and it's not turning out how you like it, and I've seen content creators on here, they'll say, oh, I started looking, I took it off because I didn't like it. All you learn to do is to keep quitting. Learn to make it work. There's times I'll do looks and I'm like, I don't know, but you know what? We keep going. And then usually I do end up liking the look. So don't give up. Try not to scrap looks. Just keep working with it. Keep tweaking it. Double down and add more stuff to it. But again, I'm home and I do wear those looks out too. But if you're rushing out for work, I wouldn't recommend that. But on your own time, just play around and just see and just learn and experiment. So that's my TED talk. I want us to enjoy what we have. We spent our money for it, and let's use our stuff, pair our palettes, roam all through an entire palette, use all the shades, whatever kind of ways, and just have fun. And so that's it for this live stream. I thank y'all for being here. Any closing comments, questions, ideas, member requests? Shop my stash. I do have some requests for members shopping my stash, and so I'm excited about that. Those will probably be done. I may do those for Vlogmas. And I've never done a shop my stash for myself because I kind of feel like I use the same thing over and over and over because my face products are very curated. So if you're a member and you're in here, don't forget that I have that on my community tab for you to shop my stash. And it's for like a whole face, if you can think of something for the whole face. And if not, just eyeshadow pairings or whatever. And I may go back also to doing palette bingos, which was a member request a while ago, and those were fun. And so I just need to put it in my calendar because I put everything on my calendar. Otherwise, it may get forgotten. So that is it for tonight, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I know it might have been like, where is she at last night? It was just a really rough day, and I did set my alarm to get up. And when my alarm went off, I woke up like I was fighting. I woke up like, what the hell? And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let me calm down. Like I was so out of it, and I still thought to do it. I'm like, you know what? No. I said, I'm not going to be able to pick out looks because I'm like, I couldn't even focus. I was just like, what's happening? But so thank y'all for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. And we'll be back here Monday night. I don't know what we're doing next Monday. Oh, you know what? Y'all, we did not do, what am I looking at? We didn't do our beauty budget update last month. Well, for September. And so next Monday, we're doing our beauty budget update for September and October because I didn't do one for September. So that's going to be next Monday. And I don't have any planned out for the rest of the Mondays for this month. But we are going to go, y'all. Tony is saying good night. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate your time. And I'm glad that this was helpful for some of you. And I appreciate the chit chat as always. I do. And so we're going to go. I'm going to eat and clean out my sink and wash my 2 days worth of brushes. And I want to do a video, even though I know I need not to. I need to start taking out what I'm going to pack to take to Academy because that's a 4-day thing. So we're going to go. Thank you so much. Good night, Locke. As always, everybody, self-acceptance, self-love. Thank you, Locke. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. You will see me soon. Bye. I got 2 days worth of brushes. I just been so out of it. But let me not start talking again. All right, we're going to go, y'all. Bye. # solidarity, washing brushes. Bye.